Hello and welcome to this version of SmartSuite training, where we're going to talk about how SmartSuite keeps your authority files clean. If you're using a modern and current library system, especially a cloud-based library system that's just pure web-based, no apps, no plugins, no players, no nothing on the end user end, one of the things that you will find that you have to deal with a computerized library system, and that is authority files. And authority files is when you catalog and you want to enter a new author or subject or illustrator, anything that comes from a list that you want other catalogers within the system to be able to pick from a list. You want to reduce the issue of having, as an example, an author spelt as Fernandez, Michael with a capital F, Fernandez all in capital letters, Michael, or Fernandez in proper case, Michael. You don't want all these different variations. You just want one Fernandez, Michael. And so an authority file system, so with the authority files, it'll help you control and manage all of that. In the past, in archaic systems, and have a look at the systems that you currently run, you will find that managing your authority files is a big job. And it distracts and takes your time away from supporting your users. That's one issue. The other issue with authority files that are not managed is when you go to do a search, and if I type in world as an example, what it will do is it'll say, the word world exists in the title and also exists in the subject and also exists in the author and also exists in the series and publishers and so forth and so on. And then you don't want to be in a situation where you choose something out of the authority file and then it says no items found. You just don't want to do that. You're going to frustrate your users. And worse than that, you're going to have a situation where your users so if I just choose World War, because that came out of an authority file and there's a list, your users will stop using your system and stop searching your system because they go, it gave me a list of words and when I selected it, it came up with no items found. And that can be frustrating. And the modern user, the modern digital user, not the library user, but the modern digital user, if they find that they go somewhere and it allows them to do something and comes up with nothing, they just won't return. So what we've done is we've made sure that we automate the authority file. So let's go into one of these books as an example, and let's edit this record and bring up the catalog screen. When you look at the catalog screen, okay, you've got the authors, the illustrators, the subjects, the local subjects, the copy, and so forth and so on. So let's have a look at authors. If I wanted to add a new author, I can go in and type in HI and it'll bring up all my HIs, and it's Hackman Clara. But it might not be Hackman Clara. It actually might be Hacker Scott. Okay, now when I've gone and put in an author that does not exist in my list, you're going to get a message that says Hacker Scott is a new author. Are you sure? So what you should do is just check the spelling, check the capitalization of the words and what have you, because if you go okay, it's now added Hacker Scott into the system. Okay, and he's now in the authority file. So let's go to the subject area, and the subject I'm going to type in here is Hacker. It says no results found, but I'm going to add that as a subject. It says Hacker is not in the subject. Go, okay, I can add it. Now I can go and add a publisher. So basically any authority file that has a list, Hacker Publisher, and it says Hacker Publisher does not exist. Okay, so I've now gone and added all those items to that authority file. And of course, if I did a search of Hacker, that will allow me to be able to find that record. So remember, the title is World War Z. Okay, so let's go back into the basic area, and I'm just going to copy that ISBN number so that I can bring this record up later if I need to. Okay, and it's Hacker Z. Now, if I wanted to go and have a look at the authority files, or I look at my authors, you'll find that they exist here. Okay, now I'm going to add a new record, so I'll just go new. It says, are you sure? Oh, I didn't save that record. Let me just save that first. So that's going to save that record, and you can see I've got Hacker Scott in here. Okay, now if I want to add a new record, I can go new, and I can go this is a new book. That's my title. And if I go to the author and I type in Hacker, and there's Hacker Scott. He's in the list I can choose. If I go into the subject and I want to add a subject of Hacker, and there's a subject called Hacker. So I can add all of those items there. Okay, now if I go and find that record, because that book has now been damaged, okay, it's come back in circulation, and it tells me that this particular book, World War Z, has been damaged. Okay, so let me just go into the copies area. I've got 2 copies, and both of them happen to be damaged, and I want to now delete this book. Okay, so if I go delete the title and I go yes, I'm going to confirm I'm going to delete it, and go yes. All right, that book is gone. Okay, so if I now go to my find button and I type in the ISBN number, I paste it in there. That's my ISBN number, and it says no results found. Okay, but if I go to a new record and I go, my author is called Hacker. Okay, I've got no author called Hacker. If I wanted to add a subject and the subject was called Hacker, there's no subject called Hacker. There's no publisher called Hacker. So what happens is you can add authority files on the fly, and you can add authority files anywhere, including in the copies area. So if I go into the copy area and I turn around and I say, you know what, I've added a new location. So I'll go here, and my new location is lib admin. It says libadmin, there's no result. So when I hit enter, it says libadmin is a new location. Are you sure? If I said yes, of course, it'll create it. So I can go and create authority entries on the fly from absolutely anywhere in the catalog record, and it'll create that list for me. And I don't have to worry about, now that I've deleted the catalog record, what about all the subjects that were attached to it, and all the notes, all the series and the illustrators and the authors that were attached to it? Well, the great news is, don't worry about it, because with SmartSuite, if there are no other records that use an authority entry, regardless of where that authority entry happens to be, the system will automatically clean it up. So all your housekeeping functions are all gone as far as authority maintenance and management are concerned. And that's one of the beautiful things of SmartSuite. It's smart to be able to reduce your workload in the library so you can do more important things other than just normal database maintenance and database management, which should never have been part of the library's function. It should have been an automated process. And so we've automated all your authority files. And you say, well, can I have a look at my list of authority files? You can go anywhere in any catalog record. You can go to a blank field, in this case, the subject. And if you type in G, it'll bring up anything from G, and you can have a look at it all there. Okay. and you can keep scrolling and keep scrolling and keep scrolling, and it'll just go. Sorry, it will go infinitum. So starting at there, and you can keep scrolling down. When you get to the bottom, it loads the next page. When you get to the bottom, it loads the next page. You get to the bottom, it loads the next page, and it'll just keep going, and you can just keep going on and on and on. That's how you can look at that. But if you want to see it in a proper list, you can go to your menu, you can go to configuration, and you can go to authority file, and you go, well, I'm going to go into my authority file, and I'm going to add all these new subjects in the authority file. So you can click on here, go down to your subjects, okay, and there's your list of subjects. It's all alphabetical, okay, but guess what? You cannot add a subject here, because if we allowed you to do that, then when it came time to searching, that subject will come up. But if that subject was not attached to any title, and that's the same applies for the subject, the author, the series, any of the authority files, if you then search for it, the poor user will get a notice saying no items found. And we don't want the user to ever get that kind of a message. If they find a list that comes up, we want to make sure we give them a list of resources that matches it. So you cannot go and find. You can fix the spelling if you wanted to, because the spelling is wrong, the punctuation is wrong. You want to put into proper case. You want to put the word N-I-N-E starting with 19th instead of 19th with the TH. You might want to put it. So you can do all of that automatically. And every book that had that as a subject will now have the new reflection in it. So the great thing about SmartSuite is it reduces, we believe, the workload for the library staff by more than 50% over all the existing previous versions that we had. Okay, it's automatic, and that's one of the best things, so that we allow you to do what you do best: servicing your patrons, doing research for your patrons, adding content for your patrons, and making your content more discoverable by putting in search terms in different areas and building lists and building dynamic lists. Those are the things that librarians are noted for. Those are the things that librarians are loved for making information discoverable. You don't want to be able to be doing all this mundane maintenance of cleaning up and deleting and what have you. The system will clean up and it will delete automatically. That's one of the big advantages of going to SmartSuite. And as I said before, we save you a whole heap of time and frustration in trying to find, where do I add an authority file? Where do I delete an authority file? You don't have to worry about it. If it's in the catalog, it's there. If it's not in the catalog, it's not there. If you delete a catalog record and you got a whole bunch of authority entries all over the place, in the Illustrator, publisher, series area, location area, wherever, if it's an authority entry and you delete the authority file and no other catalog record in the system uses it, it will get rid of it in a flash, faster than you can blink an eye. When you delete the catalog record, all the orphaned entries will drop off. That's why in version 3, you do not have a global change or a global delete that says delete orphaned entries, because we guarantee that in the new version 3, there are absolutely no possibility of you creating orphaned entries, either accidentally or even deliberately. It's impossible. Thank you for enjoying and joining us in this SmartSuite, keeping your authority files clean.